fantastic bowler Bolt, so a huge loss for them. But same thing, a guy who steps in as an international cricketer, so anyone who plays at the national cricket is dangerous. So I assume that someone like Matt Henry, obviously Tim Southey didn't play the previous game, he's just a high quality bowler, so they've still got enough resources there. And just, as I said, just preparing for what we think their team will be. I think this wicket won't take as much spin as the previous one, so expecting them only to play one spinner. I think both teams didn't play to the best that they could in that game, so possibly yes. I think from a batting point of view, we assessed that it was going to be tough to score. So my game plan was pretty much, I knew what was necessary to try and be successful on that wicket. So I think maybe talking from a personal point of view. From a team perspective, I felt that we bowled a lot better the latter stage of the innings. The first bit we were a little bit off our areas, and I suppose you can put that down to the bowlers not being test match ready for. I know when we played a bit of test cricket, the bowlers are very, very good in zoning in on those areas. But from a team perspective, I felt we summed up the conditions pretty well. Even that last bit of the test match, we knew that it wasn't going to be a case of trying to slog some runs and get it on the board and have a go at New Zealand. It was going to be a slow grind and then set it up for the last day. Yeah, I think possibly a little more like New Zealand conditions. A good test match where there's a little around with the new ball, and if you get through the new ball, there's something in it for the batters. Good value for shots. So I'm hoping that you see the norm more of Test cricket in this conditions. That's going to be a huge challenge. Obviously, the New Zealanders will be a little bit more used to playing in these conditions. We've got PE and Cape Town where the wind blows, but it doesn't feel quite like this. So that's, once again, especially guys who have to bowl into the wind, and that's generally the biggest challenge for seamers. Spinners have to bowl with a big wind against them, and that's sometimes a very difficult thing to do. And from a batting perspective, that can work on your balance if you feel that the wind is pushing you over a little bit. So there's a few challenges there that lies ahead for us, but once again, both teams faces the same thing, and you have to just be a team that adapts better on the day. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I said it before the series, if you can get rid of Williamson and Taylor, there's a lot of pressure on the rest of the batting lineup, and obviously couldn't get rid of Kane in the first test, and they were successful as a unit. So there lies the secret. I would, yes, but I'd weigh up how far I'd be able to push that boundary. Obviously, I think the first test would have been a great example. Those conditions were a slow scoring, so it would have been difficult to score runs quickly. But the potential of bowling a team out is the chances are a lot better there. So that would have been a great example. There it would have been a declaration of 220 and 50 overs, which sounds a nice challenge, but you know that the odds are a little bit more in your favour. So from a setting up the game point of view, we would play it exactly as I would play every single game. We'll try and set it up, and then if the opportunity presents itself later in the test match, then I'd definitely be looking at it.